Hey guys, welcome to the video, another segment of Hacking Modding Monday news and info. This is part 2, the continuation of yesterday's segment, and I guess this is a Tuesday edition. This one will focus pretty much only on Nintendo Switch stuff, and man, there's been a lot that's been going on. If you're new to the channel and you're new to these segments, make sure you read down in the description to get a better idea through the brief summary on what these segments are all about, and we do them every week. But since the quarantine's been going on, there's been time for developers to update their stuff, come up with some new homebrews and things. So there's just a lot going on in the hacking, modding, and homebrew scenes. So I have to break these segments up sometimes into multiple pieces. So let's go ahead and let's jump right into it. And we kick things off with another update to Atmosphere. This is now on 12.0, and this is a big update. Lots of changes here. You can see the change log. It's a mile long, so when you get a chance, if you want to look it over, you can. You already know what Atmosphere is, and you can grab the zip if you want to get it with the Homebrew launcher and the Homebrew menu. Both were updated recently, but those last versions still work with this newly updated Atmosphere. Now, if you want to use Atmosphere just plain Jane vanilla, all you need to do, of course, is just inject the Fusey primary bin into your Switch like you would any other payload, and then you have just plain Jane Atmosphere. Okay, so now we have to cover some of the stuff regarding the SIG patches because this is a mess. Okay, so I made a video showing you what you need to do with this new SIG patches situation, and that video still works even with current Atmosphere and current Cosmos. If you're using plain Jane vanilla Atmosphere, then you need to come here, and of course the link will be down in the description. Grab this zip file, which is 2.0.0-10.0.0 AMS 0.12.zip. Grab it, and then take the contents of the zip, copy and paste them to the roots of your SD card. And if you're using plain Jane vanilla Atmosphere, that's all you need to do. If you want tinfoil to work with your plain Jane vanilla Atmosphere, you'll have to use something called Nutos, which there's a bunch of videos already that came out. It's like a fork of Atmosphere, and they show you what it is that you need to do. Now, for those of you who are using Hecate to launch Atmosphere, or if you're using Cosmos, then you need to come here and grab these patches. As of right now, the latest Cosmos is 15.6. You can follow that video because the process is the exact same for people who use Hecate to launch Atmosphere, or if you use Cosmos, it's the same process. Watch the video, it still works. But if you're using 15.6 Cosmos, just remember, like I tell you in the video, you have to come down here and use these files down here because Cosmos 15.6 uses Atmosphere 11.1. If you are launching Atmosphere through Hecate, you're not using Cosmos, and you're using the latest Atmosphere 12.0, then you use these files here. Just follow the instructions in that video I made. When Cosmos updates and it starts using Atmosphere 12.0, then you can use these 12.0 files with your Cosmos. So yeah, it's a little bit maybe confusing, but the video clears it up. Make sure you watch it and then just grab the right files that you need. And next up, Team Executor has updated a couple of their things. First, their custom firmware, their SXOS, is now in version 2.9.5 beta. It adds support for 10.0.0 and 10.0.1 firmwares. They also updated their SX autoloader. It's now been updated to work with the 10.0 firmwares as well, the 0.0 and the 0.1. This version of autoloader is now on 1.40. You can get both here from their site directly. I'll put a link in the description that'll bring you straight to their homepage. Just scroll a little bit down and you'll find both of them there. And next, let's go over a few relatively new things for the Switch, starting with skyNX. Now, skyNX has been out, I think, for a couple of weeks or so, not that long. but it's had 13 releases already. It just keeps getting better, and this will allow you to stream your PC games to your Switch without the need for Android. What's great here is that I think there was already another app that did this, but this one just has so many more features and just seems to be far better than the other. This one allows you to stream your PC games with audio to your Switch at 60 frames. It can handle up to 4 Joy-Con pairs, so 4 players can play at once. And yes, that means that when the game streams to your Switch, you can control the game using your Joy-Cons or the Pro controller through the Switch, which is fantastic. There's motion control support for CMU. So CMU is a Wii U emulator, so when you run it on the PC, you can run it through your Switch and then control it through your Switch, which is great. The analog sticks and triggers can be used to control the mouse, and there's just a bunch of other stuff here. If you've never used this before, absolutely positively make sure you check out all the instructions. But there is a nice video tutorial here in the releases page. So when you come here, you scroll down a bit, right here are the video instructions, and actually this is an excellent tutorial, so make sure you follow it. There's also some written instructions here and there. After you've gone over everything, make sure you snag the files that you need down below. And next up, we have something else that's new by the developer of the person who made the JKSV homebrew. This one is called The Biggest Dump. And despite its ultra goofy, senseless name, it actually may come in handy for some people. You see, what this does is that it allows you to dump any pending firmware updates that are on your Switch. So if you have a modded Switch and you have an update that's pending, it will dump that firmware update from your NAND onto your SD card. And then from there, you can use that dumped update or that dumped firmware to install it using Choi de Jour NX, and there's a bunch of tutorials out there on how to use that for your Switch, and this will prevent you from burning any fuses on the Switch, so you can then downgrade if you ever want to downgrade later on. So it's pretty simple and straightforward to use. Make sure you grab the latest release. It's a regular applet, it's a .nro file, so it installs like any other. And the next few things we are going to cover have basically been things that we've already covered in the past, and they've just recently been updated, so I'm going to kind of gloss over them real quick, starting with the Switch Theme Injector. This allows you to install custom themes, and these go far beyond just a regular background image change. They can literally change the layout of your entire home menu. There's a bunch of them out there, a bunch of different layouts and all that cool stuff. They're even starting to get somewhat animated as well. So this one was recently updated here, and you can see it was made primarily to support 10.0.1. It's a regular .nro file, so it installs really easy. Next up is NX Activity Log, which again we've covered a bunch of times here. It just shows you in a very nice detailed way a bunch of information regarding your playtime on your Switch. There's been a lot that's been done with this latest update, including themes, and you can even customize your own theme here as well. In this latest release, you can check out all that has been done, and it's quite extensive. It too installs just as a regular applet, as it's a .nro file. Then we have sys-tune. This is relatively new, but I've already covered it before. This is an overlay that allows you to play your own music in the background while you're either playing a game or just navigating around your Switch. In the latest releases, you can see that they've added FLAC and wave support. They implemented seeking in tracks and a few other fixes and additions here as well. Grab the zip file and just copy and paste everything from there onto the root of your SD card. And next up, we have an update to Tegra Explorer. This is a file manager for your Switch, but as I've mentioned in the past in previous segments, this one is a payload-based file explorer. So it's a bin file that you inject into your Switch, pretty much like any other payload bin type file. But the difference here is because this one is a payload-based file manager, it gives you some extra features and options and controls that you normally would not get from an applet-based file manager. So if you want to give it a try or use the latest update, make sure you snag that bin file, inject it into your Switch however you normally do. And lastly, we have an update to SISCON, which is a Switch module that allows support for third-party controllers. Again, this is something that we've covered in the past. You can check out the latest release, and quite a bit has been done here, and then snag that zip file and copy and paste the contents of it straight to the root of your SD card, and you'll be good to go. And that is going to do it for this week's episode, guys. You know I appreciate you watching, and if you found anything here informative, useful, helpful, or maybe just entertaining, or you just want to throw some love or appreciation to the channel, of course, the best way to do that, as always, is just to hit that like button and maybe subscribe if you haven't already. Much love going out to everyone. Be careful out there, be safe, but have fun, and we will see you on the next one.